3 strategies to help you create a pre-show live countdown timer that engages people, that creates the engagement and keeps people's attention, because that is going to be the hardest thing about using a countdown timer. You do not want a countdown timer that is static. You do not want a countdown timer that is going to confuse people. You do not want a countdown timer that is going to cause people to leave before the show even begins. So, how do you go about timers and pre-shows so that you create that engagement and you get people to stick around and are excited to actually be there for the pre-show? If you are not familiar, we have so many people who show up just for the 10-minute countdown timer that we do on our live shows, and it creates a sense of engagement and community. So let's dig in to those 3 strategies. The first strategy is to entertain. You want to entertain your audience during your show. You can create engagement and entertain at the same time. Now, this word comes with a lot of fear for people. Entertain feels like pressure, and I want to remove that sense of pressure, because I really want you to just understand what entertainment is. Entertainment for your pre-show literally just means to capture attention in some form or fashion. It doesn't matter what you do. As you know, I dance, right? We turn on some good jams and we dance it out. And that gets us hyped up, that gets us excited for the show. Everybody's dancing at home. They come specifically for the dance party, right? And so that's our thing around here. However, if, let's say you do, I just threw in a magic show, like just do some magic or whatever it is. You can also create a sense of intrigue. Like during the countdown timer, if I have a new product in hand, I will hold it up and I'll show people, I'll tease people with that product. You can get creative with this just by thinking, what is your personality and what does your audience want from you and what do they find entertaining? Every audience is different, so you don't have to do what I do or what anyone else does. I want you to add your sense of magic to it, right? So it doesn't literally matter what you're doing. You want to create intrigue. You want to create an engaging environment. So spend some time thinking about what that could be for you. And if you are live watching this or watching the recording, go ahead and drop in the comments what you think that might be for you. Real quick before we get to that, this is an example of what this looks like.
Honey, I got what you want. All of your love, 'cause it's burning hot. It's what you do.
Right? So that is something that you can do. You have a transparent countdown timer, and I dance, I show off product, I do those things that I talked about. So that is a great way to just have some music going and you're entertaining. It is a form of entertainment. Now, you want to make sure that you think about that as you go into the second option is to keep attention by talking. You have a pre-show where you're literally just talking to the audience, right? So you have a sense of engagement and community from this option. It's not silent with just music and dancing or whatever it is for you. This is a more upfront engagement option. So what you can do is have a viewer check-in, right? So you have, let's say you say, hey everyone who's watching, where are you watching from? Let us know your city, state, country. And everybody starts typing that in the comments. Here's where that comes into play with the engagement factor. Every platform wants to see that people are engaged the moment you go live. So the more people are talking, the more people are commenting, then you actually can create a sense of, you can kickstart that algorithm, and that will help fuel the platform sending it out to other people. So that is a really good trick to get more people to show up. You can also ask questions, have a question of the day, bacon, eggs, or biscuits for breakfast, or whatever, right? You can ask anything, and it does not have to be on topic for your show that day. You can tell life stories. You can talk about, you saw Abby walking around back there, Abby the Chihuahua, and you could tell a life story about your puppy, or you could tell a life story about your kid, or something that you did, or an experience that you had at the store. It literally doesn't matter, right? This helps create a sense of engagement, community, and that know, like, and trust, because people are getting to know you as a human being. So it's just all about hanging out. It's about that sense of community. So here is what that might look like. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my audio muted, and I'm gonna have some background music, and I'm gonna lower that music so that it's background music, not upfront music in your face. It has no words to it, right? It's just background music to kind of keep that attention. You have something like this, which is our brand new timer, by the way, and you have, it says what's coming up, right? So that can be a really helpful thing as you're just talking and engaging with the audience. Then you also have that visual element to say, hey, this is not the show. This is the pre-show. The show is coming up, and this is what we're going to be talking about. This was my show, pre-show this morning. So that's also another option that you can do, right? You can have a conversation. Hey, everybody, what's right? Debbie is asking what's up with the food talk. If you just joined us, I was talking about food. I asked you a question about food, because that's what you can do during this second option strategy for your countdown timers. You can ask people questions about who they are. You can get to know them as a community, and you can support that effort to have that conversation, right? So that is just a perfect example, and something that I think is a really beneficial way. If you don't feel comfortable dancing, if you don't feel like you're entertaining, this is a great option to help you create that engagement without feeling a sense of pressure to entertain. Now, as I said, that timer is brand new as of today when I'm live recording this. You can get your timer at livestreampros.com/store. You can get it with and without the bubbles. We give you tutorials on how to set it up on OBS, ECAMM, and vMix. So the next one, real quick, before we go on to the third strategy, just a couple of quick things. With this second strategy on just talking during your pre-show, it's great because, as I said, it creates community. However, viewers who are not used to your pre-show, so newer viewers or somebody who hasn't shown up live before, they can get a little confused. So what I would recommend is make sure that while you're having random conversations about food and people are getting confused as to why they showed up for a conversation about countdown timer strategies and we're talking about food, right? That can be confusing. So in between all of that just hangout talk, make sure you remind people on a regular basis that the show is coming up. This is a pre-show. We're going to be talking about XYZ here in whatever the timer says. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, right? And make sure that you put some background music. You can get that background music at Epidemic Sound. We have a 30-day free trial in the link for you. All right, so the third strategy is the BTS. And if you're not familiar with what BTS means, it's behind the scenes. Tap into the voyeuristic mentality that human beings have that you just can't get behind, like you can't get past, right? And just tap into it, just lean into it. People love to see what is going on behind the scenes, and that can create some really great engagement and a sense of like, oh, I've got to stick around because this looks interesting, right? So what you can do is you can have a pet cam right on screen like I did in my timer this morning. You can show you getting ready. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of what feels behind the scenes, what feels like you're letting people in through that curtain that is usually just the live show. So some examples of this would be my pet cam. Abby, of course, decided to hide, but she's under there somewhere. So you can have a pet cam, you can have that overhead cam, right? And so that's an option. As you're getting ready, you can kind of, everybody can see, you can have a behind the scenes camera like this, where you occasionally turn to the camera, or you can, you know, do anything. I mean, remember, get creative with this. The thing is you can actually mix and match a lot of these 3 different strategies to create something that is uniquely you, that matches your personality, your channel, and your audience. So test out a few things and let your audience tell you by how much they engage, what they like best, what you like best, right? So you can get a brand new countdown timer and a lot of other options on our store right here at livestreamingpros.com/store. And we have the one that I showed you today, but we have a lot of other options. So when you are thinking about your pre-show, make sure that you're thinking about engagement, about engagement. That is the key rule for pre-show timers. You do not want something static that is going to cause people to be bored or leave. You've got to engage, and that you can do that through these 3 different options. And if you want to learn more about countdown timers and pre-shows, we have a playlist right here that you can check out. So if you're watching the replay, leave a comment, let me know which countdown timer strategy you're going to go with. And if you're watching live, we're going to head into Q&A. I'll see you there.